Welcome to The Explainer, where we get into the big ideas. And today, well, we are tackling something that literally keeps a lot of us up at night. Let's talk about sleep. So, is our modern obsession with sleep a total health revolution, or is it just another form of productivity anxiety? You know the drill, right? We're all supposed to be optimizing our sleep, tracking every REM cycle, hitting that magic 8-hour number. But is all this hype actually helping, or has the pressure for perfect sleep just become another thing to be stressed out about?
Okay, to really dig into this, we're going to frame it as a debate. On one side, you've got the advocate. Their whole argument, sleep is the non-negotiable foundation of, well, everything. And on the other side, we have the pragmatist. They're going to argue that, yeah, sleep's important, but it's been a little over-romanticized, and the obsession can actually backfire. Let's get into it.
All right, so here's how this is going to go down. We'll kick things off with the big question. Then we'll hear from the advocate, followed by the pragmatist. After that, I'll step in as the referee, and in the end, it's going to be your call. Let's do this. All right, round one. We're handing the mic over to our sleep advocate. Their take is pretty straightforward. When it comes to sleep, there are no shortcuts. It is absolutely non-negotiable. Okay, let's get real for a second. The moment you start cutting corners on sleep, your brain is the first thing to pay the price. We're talking memory, how you handle your emotions, your ability to make good decisions. It all takes a hit. Get this, being awake for just 18 hours straight can impair you as much as being legally drunk. Seriously. And your body? Oh, that's a whole other story. Deep sleep is prime time for physical repair. When you cut that short, you're basically telling your body, nope, no healing for you tonight.
And all that damage, it shows up immediately in your performance. Your reaction time slows down, your coordination gets sloppy, you're not as strong, and you're way more likely to get injured. And that's just the physical side. Mentally, it's a disaster. Being in sleep debt is like a fast track to more anxiety, more depression, and just being emotionally all over the place.
So here's my bottom line, and I want to be crystal clear about this. You cannot out-train, out-supplement, or out-hustle bad sleep. It's the bedrock. Everything else, your workouts, your diet, your work, it all sits on top of that foundation. And if that foundation is crumbling, well, good luck building anything that lasts, period.
Wow. Okay, that is a powerful argument, a very compelling case. But this is a debate, so now it's time for the rebuttal. Let's hear from our sleep pragmatist, who's here to argue that this whole obsession with sleep, it might actually be doing more harm than good.
Okay, with all due respect to the advocate, we need to step back into the real world for a second. I mean, look around. There are countless high performers. We're talking CEOs, founders, world-class athletes who seem to be crushing it on way less than 8 hours of sleep. Are they all just secretly failing? I don't think so. Humans are incredibly adaptable. Honestly, the biggest problem I see today is the anxiety trap. The more people obsess over getting perfect sleep, the more they stress themselves out. And ironically, the harder it is to get any rest at all.
And that right there brings me to my central point. We are completely obsessed with the quantity of sleep, that magic number of hours, when what we should be talking about is the quality. And you know what? That distinction changes everything. I would take 6 hours of solid, deep, uninterrupted sleep over 8 hours of restless tossing and turning any day of the week. And let's not forget, sleep doesn't happen in a bubble. Your nutrition, how you manage stress, your genetics, all of these things play a huge role in how resilient you are to a little less sleep.
So my final point is this. Sleep is a tool. It's just one tool in the toolbox. It is not a moral scorecard. So can we please stop treating a bad night's sleep like some kind of personal failure? The truth is, plenty of people are out there winning, and they're doing it by using all the tools at their disposal, not just obsessing over one.
All right. Two very strong, very different perspectives. The advocate says sleep is everything. The pragmatist says, hold on, it's just one thing. So who's right? Well, as the referee here, let's see if we can piece this together and find some middle ground. So here's the uncomfortable truth, and you might have guessed it. They're both kind of right. The real difference in their arguments isn't about whether sleep matters. It's about what timeline you're looking at.
This is where it all comes together. See, in the short term, the pragmatist is absolutely spot on. You can totally pull a late night, you can run on adrenaline and coffee, and you can still perform at a really high level. Motivation is a powerful drug. But, and this is a big but, in the long term, the advocate's warning comes true. That bill always comes due in the form of slower recovery, hormonal chaos, and eventual burnout. And this leads us to a really important idea, the elite performance ceiling. Now, think of it like this. Getting a great night's sleep won't magically turn you into a superstar, but a chronic lack of sleep, that acts like a speed limiter on a car. It quietly, consistently lowers the absolute maximum you're capable of achieving. It sabotages all the other hard work you're putting in.
So, with all that in mind, this debate really lands back in your court. The right answer isn't some universal number of hours. It's about you taking an honest look at your own life and your own goals. So let's run through the questions you should be asking yourself. First up, why are you losing sleep? Is it a cause of poor performance, meaning you're struggling and the lack of sleep is just making everything worse? Or is it a symptom of high ambition? Are you in a season of pushing hard for something huge and less sleep is a short-term necessary sacrifice?
Okay, question number 2. Where's your biggest bang for your buck? I mean, really think about it. Would you see a bigger improvement in your life by getting more sleep? Or would you get a much bigger return on investment by, say, training smarter, dialing in your nutrition, or just finding better ways to manage your stress?
And last one, be brutally honest with yourself here. Is sleep optimization a useful science for you, or has it become just another anxiety trap? Are you using trackers and data to actually help you feel better, or have they just become another thing on your to-do list that makes you feel like you're failing?
So when you boil this entire debate down, here's what you get. Sleep isn't overrated, not at all, but it is seriously misunderstood. The goal isn't to chase 8 perfect, flawless hours every single night. That's a recipe for anxiety. The real strategic goal is much simpler. Avoid chronic, long-term sleep debt.
And that's the key takeaway right there. You can absolutely run on low sleep. You can survive, you can even win a battle or launch a project, but you cannot build forever on it. So maybe the best way to think about it isn't as a daily chore to perfect, but as the actual foundation you're laying for everything you want to build in your future.